everyone, welcome to the Comic Game Movie Show. My name's Deshaun, and today I am here to talk about the Resident Evil 8 trailer. I was trying to get Seth bailed on me, so I'm gonna just do it by myself. Like I said, I was wanting to do it with Seth because I know Seth was really looking forward to talking about this trailer. He was really hyped about it, but unfortunately he is not gonna be here for this, so I'm just gonna talk about it now. Now, recently I reviewed Resident Evil 3, so I'm in the Resident Evil headspace right now. Literally, I've been doing non-stop Resident Evil all fucking week, pretty much. I beat Resident Evil 3, I'm playing through it again. I just recently started playing through Resident Evil 2 again. I bought Resident Evil 7 again because I wanted to play that over again to kind of get in the mindset for when Resident Evil 8 comes out. So I'm Resident Evil up right now. Resident Evil is on the brain. So the trailer for Resident Evil 8 is probably, out of the trailers that were released at the the Sony little, showing off everything, that trailer to me was the best because it felt the atmosphere, the vibe of it. To describe what I think of Resident Evil 8, I would say it looks like, and this is just my opinion, it looks like someone took Resident Evil 7 and Resident Evil 4 and just like kind of fused them together. Apparently, a lot of people thought that Resident Evil 8 was going to be the remake of Resident Evil 4 because it takes place in another, European village. It looks like a European village anyways. It takes place in this weird European village. Resident Evil 7 takes place in like Louisiana, in like the asshole of Louisiana. So, it's already a bit different because this takes place in a, like I said, a European village. So a lot of people thought that this might be the remake of Resident Evil 4, but obviously that's kind of been cleared up. There's still not a lot of news on the remake of Resident Evil 4 that I hope they don't really do because I feel like they're gonna just ruin something that's already great. Resident Evil 4 doesn't have to be remade. I've already put my opinion of that out there. But Resident Evil 8 is the sequel, obviously, to Resident Evil 7, and Ian is back. I think his name is Ian Winters or something like that. He is back, and I don't know why he's back. Like I said, there's not a lot of explaining. This trailer was all atmosphere, was all mystery, it was like a horror movie trailer. It was like a trailer for like it was like the horror movie version of the in-game trailers. You know how the in-game trailers are all kind of like not telling you anything really, just imagery and feel and vibe without actually saying anything, without actually giving any of the plot away or saying anything. The only bit of plot we really get is that at a certain point Chris Redfield shows back up and shoots your wife. And it looks like it's his wife that he's shooting because he's screaming, "Why?" Now, granted, there's a 50-50 chance if that's a flashback or not, but clearly Ian didn't learn his lesson. The only big question I really have, because like I said, I see the vibe they're going for, I get it, I like the aesthetic, and like I said, it harkens back to a Resident Evil 4, but obviously they're kind of, Resident Evil 4 was more action horror, and it looks like they're going more horror. It's like Resident Evil 4, but more horror survivor. Like 7 was. Like 7 was more horror survivor. That, you had guns and stuff, but it was more horror survivor. And I feel like that's the vibe they're going for with this, is like Resident Evil 4 with the Resident Evil 7 twist. The only question I have is how the hell did Ian get himself in another situation like this? Like, my God. I will never forget playing Resident Evil 7. And like, I'm sorry, if my wife goes missing I believe his wife was missing for a year or two, and I get a random message to meet her, and like random message is vague as shit. She's not making any sense, to meet her in the asshole of Louisiana in the middle of nowhere. I'm not going. I am not fucking going. But I will say, and like, how the hell did he end up in this crazy European place? First of all, it doesn't quite make it, like, first of all, they do that. Ian himself is a very bland character. It's funny that, like, I never think about that when you're playing the game because they do a great job of, it's like they put you in so many crazy situations that you're reacting with him, so you don't really have time to, like, sit and, like, worry about the fact that he doesn't have a personality. But I recently saw an image of Ian, like, when people are talking about him, because, like, usually it's in, like, first person, so you don't really get to see the character. But I recently saw an image of him, and I was just like, he is so pasty bland, dude. Literally pasty bland. And like even his dialogue is like there's no real character to him for real. He's just and it's done on purpose. I know it's done on purpose so that we can live vicariously through him, so that we can put ourselves onto Ian. But the fact that he ended up in another situation like this is quite frankly ridiculous. And I don't know how Ian is surviving all of this. He's never. And the thing is, Ian, like, you gotta let these things slide in video games. You gotta let these things slide in stories in general. But it doesn't actually. And I thought about this in 7. It doesn't actually make quite sense that Ian is such a badass and able to survive any of this on his own. Doesn't make a lick of sense. Like Leon going into the village makes sense. He's got experience with the zombie apocalypse. He's got badass training. Even Chris Redfield and I can't remember her name in Resident Evil 5 makes sense. Doesn't quite make sense in 7 and soon to be 8 why he's such a badass and how he survived all of this. But at least now, but this game doesn't have that problem because he has had that experience. So at least now I can kind of go into it kind of like, well, he's dealt with crazy shit before, so this won't be the last. This wasn't the first. This won't be the last. It feels like this new. I don't even know what to call it. Games that they're coming out with in the Resident Evil franchises. I've heard Seth told me that they are a reboot. Are they a reboot or are they sequels? Because I feel like if you were gonna reboot it, calling it Resident Evil 7 and Resident Evil 8 is very misleading. like you know what I mean? I'm like, is it a reboot? Or are they sequels? I think they're sequels, right? They have to be sequels because they're calling it 8 and 7 and 8. But this Ian character coming up out of nowhere, Chris Redfield's drastically changed design. It's just I'm so like the Resident Evil franchise, believe it or not, a lot like a Mortal Kombat franchise, the Tekken franchise, and other franchises. They have a bigger story. They have a bigger thing going on. All of it's connected and all of it's, connected to each other, and all of them, like Chris and Jill and Claire and Leon, they're all connected and they're all doing their own thing, and there are other characters too. But like this story, but these last couple games just kind of feel out of place. Like I haven't quite been able to put them in the context of the whole story. You know what I mean? Like it hasn't been able to like click in. But they're called 7 and 8, so I feel like I should. I'm hopefully 8 can put some more, give some more clarity on what the hell's going on with this whole arcing story in the Resident Evil franchise. But anywho, there's definitely going to be some creepy creatures. There's this weird werewolf-looking creature, which I'm sure is going to be very interesting throughout the course of the game. There are many creatures. It seems like they're going to be another there's going to be another. Damn it, who was that creepy guy? That creepy short dude from Resident Evil who was in that castle. You know who I'm talking about. The creepy short midget in that castle in Resident Evil 4 who was like royalty. It seems like they're gonna do that again, but with these creepy looking women. Because at a certain point you see these like sisters looking women who are like weird looking, and you can just tell that they've been affected by the whatever the what's out here. Like I said, there's a lot of mystery, a lot of smoke and mirrors. We're not sure what's going on. We're not sure how Ian got there. We're not even sure where this place is. It looks very European to me. Like I said, there are a lot of imagery that really just seem like The Witch or any of The Village or any other horror movie that takes place in like a shitty, third world village, like that. And like I said, I'm looking forward to this game. I'm looking forward to what it comes out. Resident Evil 7 was a great game. I was behind the curve on playing that game. It was very scary. It was very creepy. It really hit home on the horror vibe. Resident Evil 7 took Resident Evil back to its roots. So I'm just hoping they're going to push forward with that. I just want more clarity on what the fuck's going on in the story. I just want more clarity. Is this a prequel? Is it not a prequel? If it's a prequel, then why are you calling it 7 and 8? Just call it some Resident Evil something else, and then you can move on with that. But if it's not, then, But Capcom's got their whole thing. Capcom's got a nice little plan going, though, with these remakes coming out in the meantime as they work on the sequel game. That's going to be big. That's going to be really big. That's why I don't want them to, that's why I really don't want them to fuck with 4, because, these last couple games you could beat in, a freaking minute in 4. I'm like, I don't want you to chop 4 up to the point where I could beat it in one sitting, because you can literally beat 2 and 3 in one sitting if you just put your mind to it. But thank you guys for watching the Comic Game Movie Show. What do you think of the Resident Evil 8 trailer? Are you excited? Are you pumped? Are you like me? You're just curious. You're curious. You're waiting to see. The imagery looks creepy. It looks like a horror movie. I can't wait to play that game. It comes out in 2021. I don't think they say when in 2021, but it comes out in 2021. From what I will say, from what they showed me, I would think mid 2021. I don't think late 2021, because they've clearly been working on this for quite a bit. The last Resident Evil game came out about, I believe, 3 years ago. Was it 3 years ago or 2 years ago that Biohazard came out? I think it was two or 3 years ago that 7 came out. But, you know, either way, it was a couple years ago now. They've probably been working on this for a while. I believe it's going to come out next year, mid next year. That's just my opinion. So thank you for joining me on the Comic Game Movie Show. Please remember to like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.